everyone, we're going to go over the battle of the 47 kilo class at the Powerlifting America Open Nationals. So I have LiftingCast pulled up here, and what I did is I went and recreated the attempts here in LiftingCast. So if we take a look real quick here, the first and second place were in the primetime session. They already kind of had, their own placing kind of locked up as long as they made their attempts. But there was a battle then for third, fourth, and fifth place. So that's what we're looking at here from the morning session. And as a quick disclaimer here, you never know what other coaches and lifters have in mind as far as what their goals are, how their training was, if they're injured, those kind of things. So we don't know what's going on in the mind of the other lifters. Obviously, we know what we're doing when it comes to coaching our own athletes. But this is just going over an example of what I would do if I was in that scenario. So here we have lifter A and lifter B. In this case, I was coaching lifter B, and here we can see the body weights. We can see what happened on squat, bench press, and the first two attempts for deadlift, where they both did 130 on the opener and 140 on the second attempt. And then we both had 150 in initially for the third attempt. So we can see up to this point, now we're going into third attempt deadlifts, what was going on. So here we can see lifter A, our competitor, had a 310 kilogram total, and us, lifter B, we had a 305 kilogram total. So going into third attempt deadlifts, we were actually sitting in the lower placing here. If we look at forecasted, if both athletes hit the 150, you can see lifter A will then have 320 and us, lifter B, will have 315. So we'll still be in the lower placing. Okay, so this is kind of setting the stage. And now I can come over here and go over what actually happened. So as it was getting closer and closer to our attempt, what we did is we went and changed our attempt down. So for third attempt deadlifts, remember you have two changes. So we changed our 150 last second down to 145. So what that does is it switches us in the order now. So now we're going first because obviously you have to start with the lower weight. So now let's take a look at what the picture is at this point. So if we take a look now, we'll see again, the current totals are still 310 and 305. We're still the lower placing. But if we hit ours, you can see we move from 305 to 310. Now, if they hit theirs as well to be at 320, they still win. But if they miss, then they'll be at 310. And if we make it, we'll be at 310. So then when we have a tie in total, the first tiebreaker goes to body weight. And here we can say our body weight is 45.7 and their body weight is 46. So because we are the lighter lifter, then we'll win the tiebreaker and we'll be a higher placing. So this is the minimum needed to move up in placing. And you may actually be able to see that more clearly if you hop over to another one of the pages on LiftingCast. If you hop over to the board page and we come over here, okay, you can see the 305 to 310, and then the 310 to 320 will be the current total to the forecasted total. So what we're trying to do is get our forecasted total to the other athlete's current total, hoping they missed their third attempt. So you can kind of maybe see that a little more clearly there. So what happened is we went out there, we did the 145 kilos, and we made it. Okay, so I'm going to hit that as a good lift. And now we can see that now going into the competitor's third attempt, we're both at 310 and we're sitting in the higher position. They're sitting in the lower position because we have the lower body weight by 0.3 kilograms. So now what I want you to do is kind of think about, like, maybe pause the video and think about what would you do in this situation. Okay, or you can even go back and say, what would you do if my lifter B, missed 145? What change would you make, up or down, or stay the same? And then now, when lifter B makes 145 kilograms, what would you do? Would you go down, go up, stay the same? So you can kind of think about that and, pause the video and think, what would I do if they make? What would I do if they miss? Okay, so now let's go over what I would do, okay, in either situation. We can even jump back here and say, okay, if lifter B missed 145, lifter B is now stuck with 305 kilograms. We are already at 310, so we're already winning and placing, so they're no longer a threat. At that point, we can go for whatever we want. If we want to try and go after a higher placing, if we want to go after a record, personal record, just to build up our total, whatever, we can do whatever we want at this point because the athlete missed. But now, the more important scenario is, what if the athlete makes it, which is what happened in real life, okay? So then we can say we did 140 already in our second, and we're at 310, so all we need is 312.5. So we say, okay, well, can we do 142.5? Rules say no, you cannot do 142.5 because the bar is already up to 145. So you can't go below what's already been done on the bar. So we can't do 142.5, that's out of the picture. So then we say, okay, can we do 145? The next, lowest number we can go to. This is where it gets a little bit trickier. You may think like, okay, I'm not going below what's on the bar. I want to do 145. But if two lifters are doing the same weight, then the lifter with the lower lot number goes first, and then the lifter with the higher lot number goes second. So if we look all the way over here, the first column on LiftingCast are the lot numbers. Okay, the lot numbers, we start from the lowest one when it comes to weighing in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go in that order for weighing in. And then, like I said, if two lifters are doing the same weight, then lot number 1 goes first, then second, and so on and so forth. So in this case, lifter B has lot number 13, and if you're coaching lifter A in this scenario, you have lot number 12. So you can't take 145 because we already did 145 at lot number 13. If you want to take 145, you'd have to go before because 12 is a lower number. So lot number 12 would have to take 145 first, then lot number 13 gets to take 145. So in this case, we can't do 142.5 because we've already gone past on the bar, and we can't do 145 because we have the lower lot number. So in that case, if you're coaching lifter A, the lowest weight you can go to is 147.5. And you can kind of see that as well. If you, for example, tried to put 145 in here, you'll see how it's going before lifter B, and obviously that's not allowed. And so if we put it back to 150, you'll see it goes back in the correct order where you're lifting afterwards. And then if we tried 145, you'll see it automatically knows the lower lot number is supposed to go first, and so that's not allowed either. So we need to be going after because lifter B just went. So the lowest number we can do is 147.5. And if we put 147.5 in here, you can see that both athletes are currently at 310, but if you make your 147.5, you will move up to 317.5. You can see you'll move up from second place to first place in this case. Then you have the two people in prime time. So really this was a battle from fourth place going up to third place. So what I would do in this scenario is I would either have 2 attempt slips ready, okay, based on, hey, if they miss, then we can go for whatever we want, and that's what the change I put in. And if they make it, then the lowest number I can do is 147.5, and I'll turn that in. Or you can have 1 attempt slip if maybe you don't have all the attempt slips, or if you want to just keep it to 1. And in the empty space, write miss, put whatever number, make, put whatever number. And then once they miss or make it, you fill it into the third attempt, first attempt change spot, you sign it, and you turn it in. So immediately, once you see the referee lights for the 145, either whites or reds, boom, you throw in your change and you're ready to go. So in that case, as soon as the lifter B, if I was coaching lifter A, if lifter B hits 145, I would immediately turn in the change for 147.5 kilograms and have my athlete go out there and try and pull for the bronze medal. What really happened in this case, for whatever reason, is that the athlete and coach did not change. They stayed with 150, so they actually did more than they needed to do by 2.5 kilos, and they ended up barely missing it. So now if we go look, they barely missed the 150, and so both athletes are at 310 kilos. Again, then it goes to the tiebreaker of body weight. My athlete, lifter B, had the lower body weight, so we end up getting the higher placing. So we end up getting the bronze medal at the national championship, and the other athlete got 4th place. So this is a critical example for you to go through when it comes just to the final deadlifts, and think about the scenario of what would you do in either case, and then how would you play it out as far as preparing your attempt slips to be ready to go, to put your athlete in the best position possible to place as high as possible, obviously if that is what your goal is for this competition. So hopefully this video helped you out. If you liked it, be sure to like the video, drop in the comments anything you thought about this battle or any other battles from US Nationals, Canadian Nationals, any other competitions recently that happened that you want me to break down, and I'll break down that video next.